Notice how, as she's answering, her head just keeps shaking. That is her subconscious revealing herself. I don't believe a single word that I am saying. This is not the truth.
Your motive in calling Kerry Roberts at that moment before your interview was to ensure that your story would line up with her story, Ms. McCabe. Isn't that right?
First, I thought they were selling something. Then they identified themselves. I just dropped my kids off at school. Gonna be completely honest, I hadn't brushed my teeth.
Oh, there it is. I'm gonna be completely honest. That's the only true statement that I made. I haven't brushed my teeth.
Hey, somebody's coming. Because we're just like normal moms. We're not used to this.
Your normal moms? Please. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Buckle Up. It's the law, folks. It's the day after my birthday, and we're gonna continue with more Jennifer McCabe lying to the police, cross-examination by Alan Jackson in trial number 2 from May 2025 of Commonwealth of Massachusetts versus Karen Reed. Watch this woman fall apart on the witness stand once more. I bring you part 4 of Jennifer McCabe. Let's go.
Canton Police Department either, correct?
Correct.
Completely separate agency, is that right?
Yes.
During the course of that interview, those officers informed you very specifically, Ms. McCabe, that it is a crime to lie to them even during an interview, correct?
Yes.
Those law enforcement officers informed you that they were investigating certain circumstances attendant to John O'Keefe's death, correct?
They were very vague on what they were.
Understood.
I don't know what they were investigating.
Okay. But you did understand that it was having something to do with your involvement at 34 Fairview on January 28th, 29th,
The sirens.
2022.
Objection.
As a witness or otherwise?
Objection.
Sustained as to certain terminology.
You were aware of the subject matter of their interview, right? They weren't interviewing about a car you bought last year, correct?
Correct.
They were interviewing you basically about what you're testifying to here, correct?
When I first spoke with them, the conversation was pretty vague.
But the subject matter, vague or specific, was about this subject matter.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. They first contacted you telephonically, called you on the phone. Is that right?
Actually, they walked up to my car.
They walked up to your car?
Yes.
Okay, that was the very first introduction, correct?
Yes.
At that point, they had not identified themselves, correct?
They didn't know.
All right, and at that point, you told them that you were not Jennifer McCabe. They asked you who you were, and you said, I'm Nicole.
I thought they were like selling something, so I was like, oh no, I'm not the homeowner.
What? Really? You lied about who you are to the feds because, oh, they're just trying to sell me something. What? You really think someone is gonna believe you?
Fair enough, fair enough. However, after you said, I'm not Jennifer McCabe, you walked into the house, they then called you on the phone.
Yes,
They were
correct.
still sitting outside your house.
I don't know where they were, but they did call me.
They were close by.
I'm not aware.
Well, the call came almost immediately after you walked back in the house, correct?
I'm not sure how much
Oh
time
my
had
God.
passed.
Give me an idea. It wasn't an hour. It was
No, it was
5 or 10
soon
minutes.
after. I'm just not sure. I can't tell you where they were located. I'm sorry.
okay. They told you that they would. At that point, they identified themselves as being law enforcement agents, correct?
When they called me, yes.
And they told you at that time that they were not with Canton. You knew at least they were not with Canton Police Department. They were not troopers with Massachusetts State Police, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And they told you that they would like to have an interview with you. They'd like to have a sit-down talk with you, correct?
Yes.
You told them that you would be willing to submit to an interview, but you needed about 10 minutes to get ready, correct?
Yes.
You ultimately did allow them into your home, and you did sit down for a formal.
Why the 10 minutes to get ready? Because she has to make a few phone calls to Kerry Roberts, maybe Brian Albert, maybe Brian Higgins, to make sure everybody knows what's going on. Like, hey, you guys, I'm about to be interviewed by the feds. Prepare yourselves. I'll tell you guys what to say later. I'll tell you what I said to them later.
Formal interview with them, correct?
Yes, brief, but yes.
And it was during that formal interview inside the home that it was explained to you that it would be a crime for you to lie to them on any material issue, correct?
Yes.
During the course of your interview, your husband, Matt McCabe, came home. Is that right?
Yes.
As these law enforcement agents continued to question you, as law enforcement officers continued to question you at some point, you informed them that you did not feel comfortable with any further questioning and you suspended the interview, correct?
Yes.
Before leaving, however, those same law enforcement officers asked you if you had contacted anyone in those 10 minutes when you indicated, I need 10 minutes to get ready, between the time they called you and the time that they showed up and came inside your house, correct?
Yes.
You told them that you had contacted your husband, Matt McCabe,
Yes.
which is why he came home, right?
Yes.
And you told them that you had called Kerry Roberts before they interviewed you, correct?
Oh, there you go.
At that moment.
I'm not 100% sure, but if you have it,
Give me
it seems like something I would do, but if you have it, could show me.
Absolutely.
Oof, I can't stand this woman.
If I may have just a moment, Your Honor.
Okay.
The shifty eyes. The eyes never lie.
May I approach briefly?
Yes.
First, I'm going to ask you, Ms. McCabe, if you recognized that as being a report of that interview, just generally, yes or no?
It appears to be, yes.
May I approach the witness stand and stand by the witness stand for a couple of questions?
Yes.
Thank you. If I can have that.
Sure.
I want to direct your attention, if I may, for court and counsel, page 3 of 4, starting with the second to the last full paragraph, going into page 5, top full. I'm sorry, page 4, top full paragraph.
Okay.
If you could review those two paragraphs, read them to yourself, and then look up and let me know when you're finished.
A thought just entered my head as Jackson was standing there, and obviously he can't even look at her, at Jenn. I wonder what is going through his body, what is coursing through his veins, knowing that he is standing next to a murderer, an accomplice to a murder. I can't imagine knowing who she is and what she has done, and just having to stand so close, inches away from her. I can't imagine how tough it must be. But he's a lawyer. He can handle it. He's a big boy.
Did reviewing those paragraphs refresh your recollection as to what you told those agents initially? I'm sorry, what you told those officers initially from that other law enforcement agency about who you contacted in that 10-minute interval?
Yes, I told them.
And you told them that you had contacted your husband, Matt McCabe,
Yes.
and Kerry Roberts.
Correct.
I want to stick with that for just a quick second. One of the first calls you made after being contacted by these other law enforcement officers from a different agency, one of the first calls you made was to Kerry Roberts. Is that right?
She was the first one.
That's what I'm asking. One of the first two calls you made, your husband,
Right.
come home, there's law enforcement outside my...
And by the pauses and the constant recalibrating is she's planning, as she's answering in her mind, how to answer, what am I going to say? This woman's brain is constantly adjusting to the situation. How do I manipulate in the best and most effective way?
My door, I'm guessing is what you said, correct?
I don't remember my exact words now, but I did ask him to come home, correct?
And
Yes.
Kerry Roberts.
Okay. Yes.
You wanted to let Ms. Roberts know that you had been contacted by certain officers from a different agency, correct?
I was curious if they had already been to her.
That
Because-
was my next question.
yeah.
You also wanted to find out had these law enforcement officers from this different agency contacted her.
Because that's important, because if she has already been contacted, she needs to know what to say and what not to say. But if she's the first one being tagged, well, then she can relay the information to Kerry and Matt, right? Because if she's being contacted, Matt's going to be contacted, and then Brian and all those, but they will come later. So she needs to know in the hierarchy of the scheme of things, is she being tagged first, second, third? What's the information? Because that will give her direction as to how to answer the questions the feds are going to ask so that she can keep the cover-up going.
Correct?
Yes, because typically,
Because the FBI, don't forget, the FBI are outside of the friendly spectrum of Canton PD and Trooper Proctor and Buchanan. And I'm sorry, again, I know I keep saying it like that, but it is disgraced former Massachusetts State Police Trooper Proctor, Buchanan and Higgins, they're all in on this. They're all friends. But the FBI, no. Those are not friends. Those are not friendly. Those are not our people. We got to be careful what we say to them and how we say it.
Enter
Yes or no?
town, she's...
Ms. McCabe, yes or no?
Oh, sorry, I was just trying to
That's
explain.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Is that why you contacted her, to find out if, in fact,
She plays this innocent, I'm sorry, and it's not working.
they had contacted her before you? Yes or no?
Yes.
And you also wanted to find out what she told them, if she had been contacted by them, correct? That was your motive in calling her.
No.
Of course it was.
So you just wanted to find out, had she been contacted, but if
Yes.
she had said yes, you weren't going to say, and what the hell did they say? What'd they ask you?
Well, I can't say what I would have answered, what I would have asked her.
Oh, I love the about the jury sees how she's doing mental gymnastics and word gymnastics. Alan is not, he's not pulling any punches. This trial, Alan is punching her straight in the throat using words. And he's tripping her up because he knows her weakness. It's too late. Jennifer may have had slight upper hand last trial. This time, Alan has the upper hand because he knows all her tricks already. He's been through the ringer. He's been through the gauntlet. And now the jury, when she starts like that, answering questions like that, she's already lost. Jennifer McCabe is already lost. And even though she's not on trial here, remember what I told you a few videos ago. Alan Jackson is the real prosecutor here. Hank Brennan is hanging on for dear life. Alan Jackson is the one prosecuting this case against the McCabe's, and at the same time freeing Karen Reed. Just an extra cherry on top, if you will.
I know I was calling to see if they had been there, yes.
That was your
correct.
that was your intent.
I called to ask her if they had been there, yes.
So that was your intent, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Your motive in calling Kerry Roberts at that moment before your interview was to ensure that your story would line up with her story, Ms. McCabe. Isn't that right?
No, that is not.
Liar.
You wanted to find out if she had talked to these particular law enforcement officers and what she had told them so that your story could somehow align or it could inform how you responded to questions that they asked you. Isn't that true?
That's not true. We both know what happened. We don't have to have a story. There is no story. There's what happened, and that's it.
So if that's true, Ms. McCabe,
By the way, when she said that, her deathly look afterward of the deer in the headlights, I'm caught look, don't think that the jury doesn't see this, folks. Again, the jury is not blind. They can see, and they're making character determinations about this woman, and that is going to affect their decision come time to deliberate.
to call Kerry and ask her if she had been contacted by these law enforcement agents, because it's just the truth, correct?
We're going through this whole experience together. We call each other about everything.
There would
That's
be no
nothing
reason
more
to
than that.
So
I'm sorry.
Let her finish her answer. Go ahead, Ms. McCabe, you can finish that.
There's nothing more than me calling and saying, hey, did they come to your house? That's what we did when the media showed up, when Miss Reed's private investigator showed up. We just give each other the heads up. Hey.
Notice how, as she's answering, her head just keeps shaking. That is her subconscious revealing herself. This is not, I don't believe a single word that I am saying. This is not the truth. I am just making a story up. Folks, her body language does not match her words, and the subconsciousness of the jurors, and yours, I'm sure. Let me know in the comments below what you think of that mismatch of, I swear, this is what I did. And then Kerry and I, we just talked about the weather. Do you believe me when I say it like that? Of course not, because your subconscious, when you're telling the truth, you're going to be assertive about it, and you're going to be nodding your head, and you're going to be direct. You're not going to be talking like this. See the difference? See how it makes you feel? Same thing's happening over here.
Hey, somebody's coming. Because we're just like normal moms. We're not used to this.
And that's helpful in making sure that the stories she tells are consistent with the stories you tell to different law enforcement agencies, correct?
No, we are not.
Again, notice how Alan is ignoring everything she's saying. Your normal moms, please.
Telling stories.
So let her finish. You said no what?
I said, no, we're not telling stories. We don't have to compare.
And if in fact what we were telling you was just the truth, there would be no reason for you to inquire about who's contacted her when, for what purpose, would there?
Precisely.
There's no inquiring. It's like when when the ice cream truck was at the street next door and I'm saying, did the ice cream truck come? It's really that simple.
So you asked a question.
Not about an ice cream truck.
Ice cream truck?
Argumentative question, and she responded in kind. Next question.
Thank you.
Ice cream truck. Kat?
You also testified in your direct examination, staying with Ms. Roberts for just a second, about a timeline that you and Ms. Roberts put together, correct?
Yes.
That's another example of the two of you talking about
Colluding.
your own perceptions and comparing and contrasting those perceptions and putting it down on paper, correct?
No.
Yes.
Yes or no?
It's a no. Can I explain or no?
I'm sure Mr. Brennan will have follow-up questions. After you gave that
That nervous chuckle of, I don't get a chance to manipulate. Damn it.
Answer to those law enforcement officers at that separate law enforcement agency, they asked you, was there anyone else that you contacted in that 10-minute period before we got a chance to talk to you? And your answer was no, correct?
Correct.
And that was a lie, correct?
It wasn't a lie, no.
Was
But it
true?
was.
Was it the truth or a lie?
It wasn't a lie.
Okay, so it was the truth. You had not spoken to any other person between the time they contacted you telephonically and you said, I need 10 minutes, and then they came in the door. During that arc of time, you didn't talk to anybody else or contact anybody else other than Matt McCabe, Kerry Roberts. Now you're testifying that was a true statement. Yes or no, ma'am?
I can't answer that yes or no.
It's pretty binary. Had you talked, well, let me ask you this. In point of fact, you did talk to other people. You contacted others, in addition to Matt McCabe and Kerry Roberts, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so when you said no to the answer, did you contact anyone other than Matt and Kerry? That would be, by definition, Ms. McCabe, a lie, correct?
No.
What?
It's not a lie?
Wait.
Is there
Wait. Hold on. I thought she was going to be better at this one. I was expecting better from a master manipulator such as Jennifer McCabe. Even she looks confused. She's got like this lost look on her face. Like, how do I get out of this one? You made a couple calls before the FBI came in to talk to you. You called Kerry Roberts. You called your husband, Matthew McCabe. You made some other calls. And then they asked you, hey, did you talk to anybody before we came in here? No, that's a lie. No, it's not a lie. You can only gaslight so much, Jenn, before it just looks absurd and ridiculous. I want to see how this interaction ends.
Shade of lie that I'm not aware of?
It's the way you're asking the question. If
Okay,
I
let
could
me ask it a different
explain,
Let me ask it
it
a
will
different
make
way.
more sense to you.
What? Because
The agents-
he's asking the right questions and you don't like it? I'm confused.
Asked you. I'm going to go over this one more time, then I'm going to move on. The agents asked you, in fact, did you contact anyone between the time we called you and set up the interview and the 10 minutes before we walked in the door? They asked you that question, correct?
The objection sustained.
What? Why?
Judge the choice of language.
I'm sorry. I meant the law enforcement agency. That law enforcement agency, the members of that law enforcement agency contacted you. Sorry. They asked you who you had contacted between the time they first telephoned you and walked in the door 10 minutes later. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Data point number one. Data point number two, you told them Matt and Kerry, correct?
Correct.
You had actually contacted, they then asked you, did you contact anyone else other than Matt and Kerry, correct?
Correct.
And you said no. Is that correct?
At that moment, I said no. Yes.
Correct. At that, or any moment. Doesn't matter
No,
what
that
the
moment, because they had just come in my house.
I asked you,
Only one person can talk at a time.
you said the word no,
She
correct?
was finishing her answer. Finish your answer.
I had said no because I was in a situation where there are two officers from a different agent had
Was she about to say, I'm going to be completely honest with you, and stopped herself because I'm not being completely honest with you? Or she just didn't want to say, I'm going to be completely honest with you because this is the first time I'm actually saying the truth. Up until this point, I've been lying, so she had to avoid saying that. I wonder, I'm going to be completely, and then she stopped herself. That was fascinating.
Come in, were asking me questions, or they had said, can I come in and ask you questions? At first I thought they were selling something, then they identified themselves. I just dropped my kids off at school, gonna be completely honest, I hadn't brushed my teeth.
Oh, there it is. I'm going to be completely honest. That's the only true statement that I made. I haven't brushed my teeth. That is the only true statement in her entire testimony that we're going to get.
So I kind of made some phone
Objection, Your Honor.
calls.
This is
That's,
non-responsive.
so next question, Mr.
Thank you.
See, she's trying to control the narrative, and Jackson just doesn't let her, and she is so frustrated, and this is excellent. I love it. I mean, she is just melting. She is just disintegrating, and Jackson is in complete control of this woman. And folks, we are going to stop here, so don't forget to subscribe. We're going to continue this tomorrow, May 7th. Barring anything crazy happening, and if I have to do an intervening video. But every day, folks, 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m., we still have Ian Whiffen to do. So be on the lookout for that. That's coming soon as well. And I do have at least one more number 5 Jennifer McCabe video. Some of you said that you want me to do her in sequence, do like her entire cross-examination. I think it's a little excessive. Again, because it'll probably be like 30 some odd videos. So I'm trying to get to the meat and cutting out the peas and the green beans and the vegetables and the salad. And I'm just giving you guys the steak. I want you guys to be satiated with all the juicy meat of Jennifer McCabe's testimony. We have more Jennifer McCabe lying to police coming up. And that's going to be part number 5. And there may be at least 1 or 2 more Jennifer McCabe videos. There may not be after that. We'll just move on to the next witnesses, but be on the lookout. The 2 names you should be on the lookout for. If you see an Albert testifying, you want to watch that video. If you see another McCabe testifying, you want to watch that video. Procta, Buchanan, Tully. Look out for those names. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.